Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's time for the Ruby Girl Talk with your favorite Ruby Girl, Dr. K, also known as Coach K. Tonight, I want you to get real excited because the Ruby Girl Talk show is not good unless the people that are watching are really excited about the show. So I need you to bring your level of cheerfulness up, no matter what's been holding you down, been burdening you today. Just release it, let it go, put it in God's hand. If you prayed about it, God heard about it, and God is already working on it. You just have to hold on to your faith, and you're going to see this thing come to pass. It's
Amen.
going to pass. So, anyway, let's get started. So, I have a familiar guest. But she's always doing dynamic things. When I tell you she's a woman of business, a woman of purpose, and she just don't stop. And that's how we have to be as women of God. We just don't stay stagnant because God is always wanting to do a new thing in us. And when I tell you, Miss Marietta Mills Jones allow God to do new thing and everything in her. So I am so honored once again to have her back on the show. And as you know, she always comes with a powerful interview, and y'all always want to connect with her and everything. And I'm getting a little jealous about this because her friend list is larger than my friend list now. So just kidding, y'all. But anyway, let's get started. So I'm going to first talk about the Ruby Girl platform, and she's going to go on my page, find this video, share it on her page. But Marietta kind of fast. She probably did that already. But let me tell you, if you're new to the platform, Ruby Girl comes from Proverbs 31:10. Who can find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above the price of a ruby? So this special is for my ladies. It makes you rare, virtuous, and always valuable. I really want you to know how valuable you are to the earth. You have a place in this earth, and without you, there's a space that's left. So for my sister out there that's feeling like, I'm not really doing anything big, I'm not really making an impact. The fact that you landed here on earth, you shook the earth, you made the impact the day you were born, and you're still making an impact. You are so worthy. You are so valuable. And people might not tell you that, but to God, you are. So I think somebody needed to hear that today. They needed that pep talk today. They need to raise their head up a little bit higher today because things are changing for them. And you know why? Because you're watching the Ruby Girl Talk Show. So
Yeah.
share. Go to rubygirl.net. Pick you up an ebook. Some of y'all have not went to the website and took advantage of the resources that's out there. There's resources out there from a lady that's stuck in a relationship. She wants to be married, but she don't want to be a husband. So I got an ebook out there for you. So there's a book to help you navigate 2025. And don't we need some navigation for this year, Marietta?
Maybe
Yeah.
navigation, compass, roadmap, globe, all that stuff.
Hey, we need it all. This year has been trying for a lot of us, but guess what? We're being tried through the fire. And none of
Amen.
us is going through what Joe went through. Joe went through a lot, but can't nobody say they went through it in minutes. One day. It might have been spread out. So know that God is with us and for us. So let's get this interview started. So Miss Marietta Mills Jones, two-time award-winning author and magnificent speaker. Could you introduce yourself?
I sure can. Hey, everybody. After all of that, I don't know what to say. My name is Marietta Mills Jones. I am the CEO and founder of Forever Thankful. And Forever Thankful is a faith based personal development company that teaches individuals and organizations the importance of gratitude. And it's based off of 1 Thessalonians 5:18, where God encourages us or really instructs us that in everything that we go through, that if we want to know what the will of God is to give thanks. Because what that does, it puts us in a mindset of knowing that God's got us no matter what it is that we go through. So that's who I am, and I can be found on all social media platforms under Marietta Mills Jones, and my website is the number four, everthankful.com.
Amen. Ooh, look at that introduction, y'all. So y'all already know, buckle up your seat because she did not come to play with y'all tonight. She came. She was like foreverthankful.com. All right. So, Mariette, I wanted you back on the show because one of the main reasons is that she's having an event that's coming up in September, and I can't wait to support her because she's always been a great support to me. Anything I've done, any event I have, and so now I get the opportunity to repay back the favor, and I
Mm.
hope I do an excellent job. Now, give me a little grace. I'm good at leading, but far as doing, I need a little bit of work.
Oh,
But
you got this.
I'm gonna give 129% for your event because I want it to be successful because I like the idea, the concept. It's different, y'all. It's an
Mhm.
event like you've never even been to. And when she was talking about it and explaining it, I was like, okay, this is different. And different brings about different results. And
Yes.
so, but we want to just talk a little bit about who Marietta is. She gave you just a quick introduction, but I want you to know that once again, she's a two-time bestseller. Is it two or three times best-selling author?
Two. But hey,
Okay.
speak for free because I got a third book. So hey, we're
Okay.
gonna call those things as though they are.
So she's a three times, pretty soon three-time best-selling author. I've read her books, and her first book that I read, it's always my favorite, Married to Addiction. And it was so powerful to hear her life story and how I know Marietta. We went to school together. We
Mhm.
graduated in 19 something. And we walked the stage together, and I remember having classes with you too, Marietta. And I remember
Yeah.
one thing: you were very smart. You was part of this crowd. You were very, very smart. And she always was nice to me. I wasn't the most popular in high school. I was a little quiet because I came from Mississippi, so I didn't know anybody. And
Mhm.
imagine, boom, I'm in the ninth grade, don't know anybody. I'm starting all over, so it was a little challenging for me. But I do remember good things about Marietta. So
Yeah.
Marietta, what inspired you, first of all, to start Forever Thankful? And what does the name mean to you? Is it just a name you picked, or was it a
Mm.
company?
No, the way that it came about was in the midst of my marriage. And it connects to the book that Kate just talked about, Married to an Addiction. So my husband had an addiction, and I walked with him through it for about 2.5 years. And in that walk, God always reminded me that there is something to be thankful for. So periodically, I would put on my Facebook page, thankful. Didn't put any background, didn't put a scripture or anything like that. It was a reminder to me that in the midst of hell, or what I felt was, I was going through hell in a challenging time, that there is always something to be thankful for. So when I transitioned over to starting a business, I initially started it under Marietta Mills Jones. And so as I was ministering to different people, going to different events, I did not want to make it about me. So that's when God put it on my heart to change the direction of the business, and I think ministry as well, to take the focus off of me and put it on the very thing that God put in my heart to do years ago. And that was to help people see and find spaces and opportunities to find reasons to be thankful. And what I call them are beauty marks. Because if you think about if you've ever been injured, there's always a scar. And the scar, you can look at it one of two ways. You can look at it as something happened to you or something happened for you. And normally, when you see a scar, that means that it is healed. It's no longer open, it's no longer vulnerable to the elements or to be re injured. But the scar just shows you that you've been through something and you're on the other side. So I look at it as beauty marks as well. That we have a lot of beauty marks in life, and once we take that perspective, we're able to navigate through the hard times even better, knowing that there is another side to it. So that's where all that came from.
That's good. That's good. And it's sad we have to be reminded to be thankful, but the God of this world is always blinding us to the goodness of God and to what we have good in our life,
Yeah.
and so you come
And
along.
and as I was sharing with you earlier, when I tell you these last 2 weeks have been challenging for me, and I had to make myself find things to be thankful for. Because normally, because I'm doing this on a regular basis, I put videos out and try to send encouraging things out, I had to stop like, okay, wait a minute. What I got to be thankful for today? What I had to be thankful for today? Because life can come so much and you could be so bombarded with things that come against us that we have to make that conscious decision to not let the things of the world overtake us and take that moment to just stop. Like, God, I know you got me. I know you got me. I know you got me. I am thankful that I'm fearfully, wonderfully made. I'm thankful that you promised that you would never leave me nor forsake me. I'm thankful that you said my steps are ordered by you. I'm thankful that you said, you know, you had a plans for my life. They're already laid out. All I'm doing is being obedient and walking those things out. When we stop and think about those things, that changes our whole mindset, or it changed mine off of what I was going through, what I might have been feeling in the moment, to where I'm like, God, I thank you.
We're in the midst of it. If you can say, God, I thank you, that is a
Yes,
declaration of strength. That's a
yes.
declaration of saying, I'm overcoming this. And Saturday I had talked to the women about life is golden. And I was talking about
Mhm.
Joe when he said, I'm gonna come out as pure gold. Nothing that Joe went through looked like it would come out good, let alone pure
Right.
gold. Yeah, but he had that hope and that faith in God. And a lot of people want that end part of Joe where he was restored and got double for his trouble. And we'd be so excited about that part. But
Mm.
nobody wants to go through all that he went through. And that's why we have to be forever thankful that hopefully Satan will not incite God against us to prove our lordship. Lord, look, you ain't got to do all that. I'm loyal. I'm loyal to you. And it's not because of the things you do. Let's make this statement right now. I am
Right.
forever thankful for everything. You can find thanks in everything.
Mhm.
It's hard sometimes, but you can
Yeah.
find it in everything. And I thank you that your brand reminds us that we need to be not today thankful, not tomorrow thankful, but
Mhm.
forever thankful. So why do
Yeah.
you believe sisterhood and women supporting one another is so important in today's world?
I believe it is because as women, we understand each other. We have a set of struggles that are unique just to women. Just like there are struggles and trials and different things that men go through that are unique just to them. So they pull together and they come together and encourage each other. And women need to do the same as well. And I think for me, there's a scripture that talks about the older women are supposed to teach the younger women. And I think that that's the part that we're missing right now, is because, and I know I've been guilty of scrolling on TikTok and seeing the young girls dressing provocatively, twerking, and doing all these different things. And then in my mind, I'm like, what's wrong with them? They shouldn't be doing all of this. And I'm like, wait a minute, but what am I instilling, or who am I encouraging that may be not doing that thing, but to teach them that there is a better way to present yourself, to represent yourself as a woman. And I think as women, we need to focus more in on encouraging encouraging each other to be better women, better wives, better sisters, all of these different things that the world are already coming against us as women, that we're all these different things that we're not teachable, we're rude, we're all these things that women have been labeled only because that's sometimes a lot that's presented. So we need to come together to encourage each other that there is a different way. We don't have to be loud, we don't have to be rude, we don't have to be all these different things that the world may put out there that we should be as women in order to be heard. The best way to be heard is to be yourself and be who God created you to be. And whatever doors need to open will open, and whatever doors need to be shut will be shut. A trust has to be in God. But as women, we need to learn more. Not saying that we don't, but we need to learn more to hug each other, to love on each other, to see our wounds and not to judge them, to comfort each other when we see a situation that another sister may be going through, and not in a judgmental way, but have their back. And I think that that's one of the things, not saying that everyone is like that, but we need to do more of that intentionally, And that's what this event is going to focus in on.
I agree. Sisterhood is community, and we were created to commune with each other and to create a community, the body of Christ. God didn't say the finger of Christ or the arm, He said the body. And we
Right.
know the body has a lot of moving parts. And what burdens my heart is these shows they have out here that have women fighting each other. You don't see that. They don't have a lot of shows with men fighting each other like the women are going at each other. And we need unity as women because, like you said, women have their own unique set of issues that only another woman will understand. Only another woman will understand being discriminated because you're a woman, or being looked over, or having to be overqualified just because you're a woman. I've had so many conversations lately with women that's talking about how they had to show up more than everybody else just because of their color, just because of their gender. And it shouldn't be like that in this day and age. But I told one of my friends, I said it could be connected to the curse in the garden. Why, the enemy comes at us so much. Because think about it, even at the end of the earth and the end of the world times, the Satan is pursuing this woman that's pregnant.
Mhm.
So even to the end of times, he always come after us. So that's why we as sisters, we need that unity,
Mhm.
because the lone sheep is the one that the wolf gets. If he see a crowd of sheep and there's one, he's gonna go for that one because it's so much easier. There's nobody fighting for that sheep. There's nobody covering that sheep.
Mhm.
There's nobody alerting that sheep. And so we as women, we need to stop being in competition with each other. We don't
Oh
have to
yeah.
come.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I don't mean to cut you
No,
off,
you're good.
but when you were talking about the TV shows of the women fighting and stuff, those aren't TV shows. Those are in the mall. Those are at the airport.
Oh,
All of these
yeah.
things. This is like reality TV.
Yeah.
But the thing I want to add too, as much as there are disparities for women versus men, that still isn't an excuse for us not to show up for each other, because there are multimillionaire women, there are successful women who made a decision to show up and take care of business. So I think that as women, we need to encourage each other as well to be the best version of ourselves and not allow what society has thrown on us and at us, because it will, but that's just the nature. Going back to your point of the fall, it's going to happen anyway. But what do we do in the midst of knowing that we have these challenges? Do we sit back and say, I can't because I know this is society is like this? The job isn't going to be fair to me because I'm a woman or because of the color of my skin. We have to remove all of those limitations, because God doesn't give us limitations. God said He gives us an abundant life and that more abundant, or give us life and that more abundantly. So when we look at it from that perspective, then Roman talks about we're without excuse for accomplishing and being everything that we can be. It's just that we got to come together and encourage that other sister that doesn't know that. That you don't have to be bound by circumstances. You don't have to be bound by what society is telling you are as a woman, or as a Black woman, whatever your race is. That doesn't limit us. We limit ourselves, and we gotta those that. That's right. Going back to the scripture, and thank you, Sharice, for putting in there Titus 2 about the older women teaching the younger women that is so key. We've lived life. We've seen some things. We've experienced some things. And so these millennials that are coming up, they like losing it because they don't know what to do with life. But that's why it's so important that we remove the excuses for them and show them you can do this. You can be successful. You can win in life. You can accomplish anything you want to. You have no limitations at all.
You know what came to me? This one's off the record for us. Do you think that we as older women have showed the younger women how to act?
Oh,
Because
I'm sorry.
what did you say? I missed it.
No.
No, no, I'm saying, have you? Because I watched this generation. they have watched us and did the opposite or picked they have watched us, judged us. They definitely judged us. It's just a lot of bitter root judgments in the heart of these this generation against us. Where we went to work, we was dedicated and everything. They like, I'm not gonna be like that. I'm not putting my heart into a job. I'm gonna keep, they doing it something different. Then I look at these young ladies and I'm like, I look at some of these older women and I'm like, I can see why some of these young ladies act like they do because of they watched us make mistakes. They watched us in relationships. They don't want marriage because they watched us get divorced over and over again. I
Mm-hmm.
never forget, I went to elementary school and I was doing a teaching there. And so I say, give me name some things that what I say, you can never, it was something I said name. And so we started talking about marriage, and the kids was like, oh, when I get married, I'm gonna get divorced, I'm gonna have 4 husbands, my mama, she got divorced, yeah, such and such. And I was sitting there absolutely horrified by their idea and perception of marriage. They were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have 4 husbands, I'm gonna go through 3 divorces. These were young children, and I said they watched us say this,
Mm-hmm.
but yet we ended up in divorce court. So
Mm-hmm.
our younger generation has watched us. They watched us be single mothers. Then they
Yep.
duplicated it. Instead of them saying, "I'm not gonna do what they do. I'm gonna have a husband. I'm gonna have a life." And now they don't want marriage because my
Mm-hmm.
mom was a single mama. So
Mm-hmm.
I pose that question like, did they watch us? And maybe this is the fruit that we have produced. So
I,
what you?
I I totally agree. I totally agree because as you were talking, I'm writing down here: single mothers, social media, all of these different things. No father in the home, so women have taken the role of leadership, and so that has affected the way that these young girls see marriage, see relationships, see what God ordained as family is no longer family. Is fractured. And so we have, and I have to say, we as a society has disserviced our young ladies to a big extent. Because I had a young lady that told me that she struggled with relationships because her aunt told her, don't trust a man, make sure you have your own, do your own thing. If he's not spending money on you, he doesn't care. Had another young lady that told me that he needs to take you out to Ruth's Chris. And I'm like, but I don't eat that. Well, still make them pay the money and then you just take the food home to you. I mean, all this kind of nonsense that we have poured over to these young girls. And so now you see the videos, you see the Instagram posts of women saying, oh, you can't take me to Applebee's, or you have to pay for my nails to get done, my hair to get done, all these different things that these young ladies, and to your point, I totally agree, has seen the mothers do. And I'm not saying all, but there isn't enough examples, or either those that are examples, for us to grab these young ladies and teach them something better. It doesn't have to be your daughter, it doesn't have to be your niece, anybody that's in your sphere of influence that you can touch a young lady just to show them something different, that marriage is honorable, God honors family, um all of these different things that are biblically based, that is not wrong. So we've got to change that whole mindset in the young women, and it starts with us coming together and bringing them in and loving on them and showing them something different.
I will say this, when I had my last event, I had the pictures of the women that were going to be there. And so a friend of mine's, she owns a shelter and she showed the young women. She's like, yeah, I want you to come out. They looked at the flyer and said, we don't see anybody we can connect with on there, because they did not see somebody that was young as they are.
Mhm.
They felt like, oh, I'm not going to learn anything. And that's what's wrong with this generation. You're trying to learn from somebody that knows nothing about life. Their life experiences is the same as yours, where here's somebody that's seasoned, has been through it, has, knows what to do in certain situations, know where you headed because they've been there themselves. You reject that. I've always like hung around, like in my 20s. My two best friends I was hanging around, they were like in their 50s.
Me
They
too.
still, yeah, my godmom and her best friend. I was hanging with them. I was 29. I remember somebody was like, well, why do you hang with them older women? And I was like, what? I see so much wisdom and knowledge, and I
Mhm.
learned so much from them about relationships because my godmom been married. She been married a long time. Her
Mhm.
friend, had knowledge and wisdom. You should be like, ain't nobody my age can tell me anything. So it's like a lot of blind leading the blind in this
Mhm.
generation, and it's mindsets that need to be changed. Yes,
Oh
you
yeah.
can learn from us that are older. We're willing to teach you. You might look at us and judge where we at, well then have a conversation with me and ask how I got there. How I got stuck in the ditch. What did I do? And
Mhm.
that's what I did when I was 19. I remember, and I probably told the story again, but y'all gonna hear it again. So I was working at Church's Chicken, and I would see, I'm 19, I'm a team leader, and I would see people come in. They'd be like 40, 30, and they're a team member, and they making minimum wage. Yeah, I was making like maybe a little bit more, but still it was the point that I thought because you're older, you should be coming in as a manager, assistant manager. Where along life did you fall back this far? So you know what I would do? I would have conversations with them. I'd be like,
Mhm.
hey, how you end up here? Just general. And it was always I got connected to this person and made
Mhm.
this. And it taught me be careful of the relationships you get in because people can push you forward or people can drag you back.
Oh
I
yeah.
was wise enough to know instead of judging that person, let me hear the story so I can learn from it.
Mhm.
So we're going to take a short break. I know everybody's hanging on the edge of their seats. They really want to hear about your event. My sister's keeper. It is unique, y'all. It is different. You really want to be in the room because I can tell you she has a good team. This circle of women that just
Yes,
that
I
I
do.
know that we're connected with. So I can imagine who she's connected with that's going to be in the room. And I love her vision. She's a visionary. She's professional. She's about her business. So it's not like those events you come to and you like, oh, they're all chaos and out of order. Not at all. This is a woman of God. This is a woman of order. And you're going to come. You're going to be transformed. There's no way you can come to this event and leave and not be transformed. So I'm gonna turn the show over to you for a minute. And while you're taking over from me, I'm gonna go on Facebook and see what the comments and everything that everybody's saying. So get to typing real fast if you want me to shout you out, y'all. Go ahead, Marietta. You got 1 minute.
Okay, so am I talking about the event or what am I talking about?
Whatever you want to talk
Oh,
about.
you should not have said that. No, you, you know I could go from A to Z and back and around the corner,
But
up and
tonight you
down the
won't.
hill.
Look.
No. But I am truly excited about my sister's keeper. And as Kay was talking about the younger generation, I think that a lot of times the younger generation and from those that I've talked to is that they feel that they're being judged by what they do. And to a certain extent they are because they are everything is on social media. What I ate, what I wore, where I went, all of that stuff is there. So when someone comes to them to say something, they feel like it's a judgment. So we've got to figure out that gap on how to approach these young women to where we can actually, it's mainly loving on them before anything. I remember Pastor Reginald Lane, my former pastor, before he passed, he said, people don't care what you say, they care about how you made them feel in a moment. So we've got to make sure that we make those heartfelt connections with people versus trying to tell them what they're doing wrong. So I used to, I'll just say this about young women wearing short skirts and all that kind of stuff. I was like, God knew to not give me good legs because if he did, I probably would have been out there in my youth wearing shorts like that. But God's like, no, I know what the plan I got for her. So I'm going to have her be self conscious about her legs. So I ain't going to give her nice legs. And I say that to say that we can, things that they're doing, we've done before. So we've got to come from a place of understanding, but yet knowing that they need to be ministered to or encouraged to go in a direction that's going to benefit them versus harm them.
Mm. That's a very good talk. Wow, you're right. And you was talking about short skirts and stuff. I used to be the short dress queen. I have no problem showing off my legs whatsoever. Even when I got into the church, I still wore short dresses only because I was a size 3 so many years ago. So when you were 3, you had to wear it was junior sizes. So
Oh,
junior sizes are not long skirts. So no matter I thought it was long, it would always end up being short. And I couldn't wear misses, it was too big. So trust me when I tell you, I used to get up and go to the offering plate, and this one lady, her eyes was trained on me all the way around till I went to my seat. And she would
mhm.
make comments to my godmom, like, who is that with the short dress on? My godmom be like, who? She know exactly who she's. She said, I don't see nobody, and she'll go over there and give me a hug and everything. But people didn't understand. I was not dressing like that to be
Mhm.
sexy. I was dressing like that because I didn't have anything that was long enough, and fashionable enough in my size.
Right.
But now I won't even wear shorts. Ain't that something? God is
Me either.
all right, so let's check out these comments. Miss Sharice in the house. Hey, Sharice. So she
Hey,
put some scriptures
Sharice.
out there and she made sure they knew that your website is foreverthankful.com. I hope you shared it with them. She said, confidence cancels competition.
I know that's right.
Yes, because when
I
you
know that's right.
confident, you're not threatened by anybody else. You know,
None
whatever is for you is for who?
for
For
you.
you. Then she put out there John 10 and 10. She said, the thief coming to steal and to kill and destroy. Jesus came to give us life and life more abundantly. And
Yes.
Blair Cherie is in the house. Hey, Candy.
Hey.
So Sharice also said it's society and peer influence. It's not always the examples before young adults. And you're right, it's so
Yeah.
many things, more things that influenced them than it did us. We didn't have social
Right.
media. We
Mm-mm. We
definitely didn't
didn't.
have social media. And the
No.
people that we looked up to that were stars, they carried themselves a certain way.
Yes.
Aretha Franklin wasn't out there cussing and wearing short dresses and all that little stuff. She carried herself Respect.
Well, I don't know if I looked up to her back then because she was like my mama's girl.
But I'm saying the
I get
people
what you're
that we
saying.
yeah. No, I wasn't like trying to be like Aretha.
I was Janet Jackson,
Okay,
Whitney
okay.
Houston, but even well, I can't say Janet, but anyway, I digress. Go
We
ahead.
got better. We got better. The women were more clothed back then. We'll
Right,
put it like
right.
that. She said, and Blair Cherie said, value is how a man lives for God and treats you in the day-to-day life. That is
Mhm.
so true. And she said, they say the older women and men should educate the younger ones, but you can't reach them. You can only hope their observation of your walk helps them. You're right. They're just as hard-headed as we were. Let's be
But that
honest.
doesn't mean that we give up, though.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
We
that
don't.
we've got to go because the one thing, the Great Commission, it said go. It didn't
Yeah.
say wait for them to come. It says go. So it's an
Yes.
effort that means that we got to put forward to go after them. Because I remember I had a conversation with someone about my nephew, and they said, "Well, he needs to come here in order for us to talk to him." I was like, "But if he doesn't come, does that mean that you're not going to, minister to him?" Because in his mind, he doesn't want to come there, but we're called to go. So
Yes.
sometimes we've got to get out of our comfort zone and go where they are in order
Yes.
to bring them in.
And what else? Just like we were hard headed, this will be it clicked for us eventually.
Yeah, because somebody didn't give
Eventually.
up on us. If
Yes.
you, if you think about it, it was somebody like maybe your godmom, and I don't mean to cut you off, but
Oh, you good.
there was somebody that did not give up on you.
Yeah. Yeah, she won me over by calling me every Monday and praying for me out loud. I've
Mm-hmm.
never had anybody pray for me out loud. And at first I was like, oh, I've never had this happen. And then she would pray for me and I started looking forward to her prayers,
Wow.
because
Amen.
that was something that was just different. That's why I try to pray out loud for people. I know some people are
Mm-hmm.
very uncomfortable with it, but you will be amazed how it touches a person's heart
Yes.
to be prayed for out loud. Everybody been soundly prayed for, but that out loud prayer is something is powerful. All right, so we're gonna get into the Sisters Keepers, my Sisters Keeper event. So tell us about my Sisters Keeper event and what is the vision behind it? We've been waiting to hear about this event. You got the floor.
Okay, so the vision behind the event was that, and I'll pose a question. Um, how many times have you gone to a conference and you just sat back and listened? Someone ministers, somebody tells their story, and you're just sitting there. And in your mind, you're like, I've got a story. I know what I've gone through. I can relate, but yet you don't have the opportunity or platform to share. So, what my Sister's Keeper is for this year is going to give women an opportunity to come together and share their story and to talk amongst other women that have different things that they've gone through. And you don't have to share, but we're going to break out into smaller groups and we're going to rotate to where you're going to get a chance to meet every woman that's there. And you're going to hear everybody's story. And again, you don't have to share a story. There isn't a keynote speaker, there isn't anything like that. This is all about the women that are there. Share their stories, encourage each other. It's all about the women. And so at the end of it, we're going to have the facilitators that's going to be at each group just to share what the groups would, what they talked about and what was gleaned from all the women. And if there's women that the facilitators feel that they should come up and speak, we're going to allow that opportunity for them, but it's all going to be done decently and in order. Uh, um, but it's something that gives a voice to those women that don't have the opportunity to voice what they've experienced. And not it's not going to be a bashing fest or a woe is me fest, but we're going to give opportunity to share what you're experiencing in that moment and tie it all into why you need to be thankful, even in the midst of that. So the stories are going to be various types of stories of overcoming what I'm in the midst of now, what I'm going through, or what I have fears or concerns of the future. So we're going to hit all of those different areas within what we experience as women. And so that's pretty much what it's going to be about. We're going to come in, the women are going to come in, we have live music that's going to entertain the women in the beginning, raffles, icebreakers, and gift bag. I brought one of the gift bags here. So we've got those already put together with the
Pretty.
badges, and each woman will get a journal, a Forever Thankful journal in the gift bag, as well as, you know what? I ain't gonna tell everything that's in here. Y'all gotta register and come.
I
So,
was
because
ready.
I'm like, wait a minute, nope. This is all y'all getting. But there is a plethora of items in the bag as well as an ebook that's going to be given out for the event. And then there's going to be an afterglow event for all of those that register to where we're going to come back together. So it's not going to be a one and done type of event to where everybody's poured out. We're going to come back together maybe a week or so afterwards, just to reinforce everything that was spoken about that night. And then we're going to schedule ongoing events to where we could come together and continue to truly be our sister's keeper. Because again, you go to a conference, sit there and you listen, then you go home. Not to say you didn't get anything out of them, because there are some really good ones that I've attended. This is going to be a follow up walking with each other to where we are truly our sister's keeper. If there's a pair that feels that they connect more, allow that connection happen, and we just grow together. So that's what my sister's keeper is going to be all about. It's going to be annual. I had the first one in 2019, and it was awesome. I had the opportunity to pull about 50 women together that I had walked with over my life, from school, ministry, grew up with, just different various areas, that I had an opportunity to just love on them and thank them for everything they had poured into me. And so I want to extend that to other women, to let them know that we are here for you. We want to walk with you. You don't have to do life alone. And going back to what we talked about, single moms, raising kids. I don't have any children, but I understand what it is to be a widow, to be single, and being able to walk with women to encourage us to be what we need to be for God, so that if there is an opportunity for a relationship or a marriage, we are the wife that the man that God talks about, that he that finds a wife, we have to be that before he finds us. So all of these different things that we need to pour into each other and share with each other, is going to start at this event, and it's going to continue on throughout the year. And so when we come back together next year, it's going to be bigger and better. And then those women that we pour into, they'll be moderators, they'll be mentors. So that's what the vision is.
That's a great vision. Remind me of your newest book.
Oh,
It's called Breaking Free,
yes.
Letting Go of a False Identity Created by Satisfying the Needs of Others. It's on Amazon, y'all. So this is her newest book. And so you're about breaking these shackles, these things that are holding women from being who they are, because everybody's been to a lot of conferences, had a good time, got the emotional appeal, and then we went right back to the same thing. We didn't know how to take what we have learned and use it to transform our lives, but you have that follow-up of that afterglow that while we're still like, oh, I'm so excited, oh, this, you're injecting us once again. Sometimes we need more than one injection before we can get healed, before it whatever happens to us is sealed within us. And so it's like you're creating a community that
Yes.
doesn't go away. It's not a community for 4 hours. It's a community that it's a sisterhood that we're going to be in. And I like that. And that's why I told y'all her event is so unique. You was waiting for her to say, well, our keynote speakers are, and then after that, we're going to have this, we're going to have some singing by Kay. No, just kidding.
I am trying my best to sit in the corner and say nothing the entire day. That is my vision, but my coordinator, who is on the line right now, isn't having that. So,
Gotta
but
show
my
your face.
but my desire is to just step out of the way and allow whatever God desires for it to happen, that He wants to happen, happens. And that's why I chose the venue that I did. I didn't want to be in a church. I didn't want to be in a conference room setting. I wanted to be in an environment that welcomed openness, that welcomed vulnerability, that made women feel comfortable to just relax and take a deep breath and cry or laugh, whatever it is they feel in the moment. That atmosphere at Akron House is a Bed and Breakfast is phenomenal. It's beautiful. I had my book signing there in 2018, no, 2020, right as the pandemic hit, and we could only have like 50 people in there at a time. It was crazy. But I never forgot the venue and how it made me feel, and just the aesthetics of it. And it really met the need of what I know it is that God has called this to be. It's not a, I don't want to, well, no, it's not a religious event, because I'm not religious at all. I'm Christian. But it's going to be raw. Women that may come in that don't know churchese, you know what I'm saying, how to speak or whatever. Baby, you're welcome. You are welcome. If something comes out of your mouth that's not politically correct, you are okay. So this is that environment that I want women to be who they are authentically. They can take the mask off at the door. They don't have to cover up. They don't have to be ashamed of what they've experienced, of what they've gone through, because we've all gone through some things that God knows we wish we didn't. But in the end, they were all lessons. They were all preparing us and creating in us a fortitude to be everything that God has called us to be. So don't despise. And that's what I want to teach the women or share with them. Don't despise what you went through at all. Because even if it was a bad choice that you made, God still could turn that thing around for your good. Because He knew that you was going to make that choice before you were even born. And He still let you come into the earth knowing you was going to be a screw up. He still blessed you, because I'm one of them. You know, I made so many mistakes in my life, But yet God's grace and mercy still allows me to continue to be everything that he's called me to be. And I told Kay I was going to bring my tissue because I knew I was probably going to get emotional because this week has been one of the weeks, but God has been faithful even in the midst of that, that it doesn't matter what others may feel or how they may feel. It's what does God say about you? That we've got to hold on to that and encourage each other on what God says about us as women, as mothers, as daughters. We make mistakes. We don't always get it right. We don't, nobody does. But that's the reason why we have such a loving Father, that he loves us unconditionally. I put on my Facebook page about love, God's kind of love from Corinthians 13, that all of these things that go against what the world defines love is, that's what God does for us on a daily basis. Even when we don't get it right, he still loved us. So, okay, I'm good.
Well, I thank you for telling us who you told us who the event is for. Is for whosoever will show up.
I
We're not
want the
looking
millennials. I really want the millennials. I want
to.
them. I want them girls.
So if you're out there, make sure you bring your millennial granddaughter, friend, neighbor to this event. And just one more thing, can you just share a quick moment with us in your own life when another sister became a keeper for you?
Oh wow. It will go back to when my sister was murdered. And it was just me and my sister growing up. So in my mind, I'm like, how am I going to do life? It's just me. And then she left my nephew, who was only 4 months old at that time. And so God just began to create a village for me of women that, and older women, younger, I mean, all walks of life. To your point, you talked about earlier that your best friends are older. Actually, Bernard's mom, Bernard was my husband, she was like my best friend before I even met him. So I've always had older women in my life that I hung around. Evelyn, my girlfriend, she lives in Vegas. Two of her daughters, her oldest daughter is like 2 years younger than me, but she's my best friend. And so during that season, God just began to put women in my life to minister to me that I could hang out with, that I can just do life with. And that goes back to the reason why I did the first My Sister's Keeper in 2019, to acknowledge all of those women that had played such a pivotal part in my life of me walking through uncertainties. I dropped out of college in order to help my parents take care of my nephew. So all of these different things that I had on me, they helped me carry that load. Um, so yeah, that's there's many of women. So there isn't just one, but I can say I have a village of women that just walked with me, that loved me unconditionally when I made mistakes, when I didn't get it right, that I was able to come to them and say, okay, I screwed up. And correcting me in love, but in that correction, it was done in love and they didn't turn their back on me. They didn't look at me in a negative way that sin had stained me so much that I couldn't be redeemed. So yeah.
I love that closing sentence. Sin has stained me so much that I couldn't be redeemed. Wow. That's deep. So we're gonna regretfully close out. So I'm gonna give you a 2-minute close. What I really want you to do, I want you to tell them where your event is gonna be at, how they can order the tickets, and how much the tickets are, the address, and just all that good stuff. So
Oh,
then,
I gotta look that up. No.
wait a minute, let me see. Do I have it? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show your website. Would that help out a little bit, ma'am?
Yes, because there'll be a pop-up that's going to automatically pop up there with the flyer on there. So again, My Sister's Keeper event, or no, experience. It's September the 20th. It's at the Awkward House Bed and Breakfast. And it literally is off of 75 behind Tiger Stadium. And it is from 3 to 7. Tickets are $50. And as I mentioned, there's a lot that goes in with this event. So that's the cost. It's $50. I really would encourage you to bring a young lady that needs it, that needs to be encouraged, that needs to be loved on. And again, this is not a platform for any one speaker. This is an experience for all women to experience love, to experience sisterhood, to experience women that have gone through some different things, but yet have overcome those various things in life, and to show them that there's something different that's there, and that there are no limits to being who God has created you to be, and there's no excuses either. But even in that, if there are difficulties, you are not alone. We walk with you, we pray with you, we encourage you. We're your biggest cheerleaders. We want to see you win. We want to see you succeed in everything that God has for you. So that's what this event and future events connected to this is going to be directed towards.
Amen. Amen. And give them your website and how they can connect with you.
I can be located on all social media platforms under Marietta Mills Jones. That's on Facebook, Instagram, and I think I have a TikTok page, but I don't know how to do them TikToks. I got to get, yeah. Hey, I got to get a millennial to show me how to do that. And my website is that's the number 4. Ain't that right, Sharice? Foreverthankful.com. And yep, and my email address is Marietta Mills Jones at foreverthankful.com. And I do have a new business phone number, which will be made available as need be. Because I put something out there before, and when I say my phone blew up, I was like, oh, y'all got my personal number. We got to change that.
So thank you for pouring out of your heart tonight and for showing up on the Ruby Girl Talk. We really appreciate the words of wisdom that you have given us tonight, and a reminder to be forever thankful. I am 100% behind your brand. Behind your event. I've already talked to my women's group. They say they will be there to support you because you have always supported them, and they love you. You part of the sisterhood, and you're right, sisterhood is very important. And I learned that when I got in January, when I had got sick, and how my sisterhood showed up for me. You know, and when your sisterhood shows up for you like family, that really touches your heart. And I told them, I said, even though I'm the founder of the group, here I go, never kick me out this group, please. I need to be in this group. But I love the fact that we show up for each other.
Yes.
No matter what we're going through, you know you can call and there's a sister that's going to show up. And so at that event, I'm sure you're going to connect with somebody there that's going to become like your sister. And Mariette is already setting the stage. You just have to show up at the stage. So make sure that you order your ticket. They have to go where to order their ticket?
On the website, foreverthankful.com, or they'll see it is pinned on all my social media platforms. And I will add, there are only 40 seats for this event. And I intentionally made it intimate so that we don't leave anybody out, that everybody has an opportunity to be touched, to be encouraged, to be ministered to. Because sometimes if there's a big room or a big event, and again, not saying that anything is wrong with those at all. This is just what God gave me, is to make sure that everyone that's there is touched in some type of way. Whatever it is that they're in need of, we want to make sure that we have an intimate setting to where we can be what that woman needs us to be in that moment. So, like I said, there's only 40 spaces. As we move forward over the year and begin our fellowship more next year, we'll see what God says. But right now, I really wanted it to be intimate to where nobody leaves untouched.
That's
So get your
powerful.
ticket right away.
She said only 40 spots. I'm gonna try to get at least about 10 of them spots, my friends. So hey y'all better hurry up and get your tickets. So all right, thank you, Marietta, so much. Thank you everybody that shared this show tonight, that always make sure they make space in their time every week to show up for the Ruby Girl Talk. I really, really, really appreciate you. And I'm looking for guests. And while I was listening to you, Marietta, I'm putting a call out. I'm looking for some authors to show up on my show in the next few weeks to talk about what they're doing. Because Marietta, you've written about 4 or 5 books.
Actually, with this ebook, 5. Yeah. 5.
Okay, I was close. 5,
Yeah.
5.
5.
All right, y'all. So y'all be blessed. Make sure you share this video if you have not. Thank you, everybody that watched. Well, we're signing off Facebook. Y'all have a great and fantastic night.
Bye, guys. Thank you.